I'm excited to announce my official sponsor over the summer. That would be First Aid and Now. First Aid and Now is a family-owned business, first aid safety company that offers competitive pricing and great services. They have a wide variety of items such as AEDs, first aid kits, and all your OSHA-approved safety equipment and janitorial items. Through them, you're not just a number, you're the top priority. Call them at 573-291-9560. Again, that's 573-291-9560. And I thank him so much for the sponsorship opportunity. I'm so excited to see what we can do together over the summer. So let's get into the video. Welcome to Inside the Mink, your go-to spot for everything happening on and off the diamond all summer long. Today we have our sixth ever interview. I'm excited to introduce Caden Paxton, the redshirt sophomore from Windsor, attended Windsor High School. It's your third full season playing for the Sedalia Bombers. You go to State Fair. I know everyone that basically plays for the Bombers has played for State Fair. What intrigued you to play in Missouri for the Bombers?
So for me, it was pretty convenient. It's about 35 minutes away from home. So it's easy to go back home. It's easy for my family to come watch me. And then, like you said, a lot of us have played for State Fair. So there's kind of that sense of brotherhood already because we've all played together at least 1 year, most of us. And Judd also is our State Fair coach.
Mhm.
So since he owns the Bombers, makes it very easy. He always gives us the option to come play here if we want to, and I've kind of used that to the max ability. I've been here for 3 years now.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. I feel like every State Fair guy comes back. So does it feel like a reunion like every year, like seeing the old buddies you used to play with?
Yeah, for sure. Because obviously now since State Fair is a JUCO, it's like we all kind of after we're done at State Fair, we all kind of split away and go do our own thing at different schools. But it's always nice coming back to see like everybody that you played with because you get so close. Everybody talks about how like the JUCO grind and stuff, but honestly, I love it because it kind of brings all of us together. The bad part about JUCO is you're only with each other for 1 to 2 years, depending on the ages and stuff like that. But yeah, I love coming back. And then we even have a couple guys from Arizona that weren't State Fair guys, but because all the State Fair guys were so close, we kind of brought them in and they're like honorary State Fair guys, is what we call them. And so, yeah, it's nice to see them. And then, yeah, it's just nice to see everybody again in the summer.
Yeah, so you guys are kind of on a tear, 4 games straight for the Sedalia Bombers. Kind of take us through the vibe of the dugout, the vibe of the team right now.
I feel like everybody's playing super relaxed baseball right now. You know, like I can say the same about myself coming off of TJ. Like the first game, I don't know, it was just like the vibes in the dugout. It just kept me loose. Sometimes your first game back, you want to try to do too much because you're excited to play again. But with these guys and the vibes with our team, it's really everybody's just laid back and we're just out there having fun playing together as a team. Honestly, I was talking to Ryan Rito about this last night. It feels like we're not even trying to win. Like we just are because we're just playing so relaxed and playing together as a whole.
Yeah, and talk about that coming back from the injury. You didn't really play much for State Fair. Now you're playing pretty much every day for the Bombers. Just talk about finally getting back in the swing of things.
Yeah, no, I'm super excited to be back on the field. I so in the fall we were playing a fall game against Drury University and down in Springfield, and I popped up to throw a ball to second base, felt a little tug in the elbow, didn't really think much of it. A couple pitches later, guy still's third, make the throw down, felt a big pop in my elbow, sharp numbness, pain throughout the forearm. Turns out tore my UCL. A month later, had Tommy John surgery, and now I'm about I think a little over 9.5 months back post surgery. And so it's been 9.5 months doesn't sound that long, but like when you go from playing baseball every single day to not being able to do anything,
Mhm.
it's been a long time. So, obviously coming back to the Mink League this year, I've been looking forward to this since I found out I was going to get clear on time to play. And I'm just super stoked to be back out on the field and playing every day. I will say, I forget how much it does take it out of you. I'm exhausted by the end of the nights after those games, especially after the bus rides and stuff like that. But yeah, I couldn't be more happy to be out there and playing with my friends.
Yeah, even Nevada, last time you guys played them, I want to say 2 days ago, you guys got back really late, a first pitch at 8 p.m. I think that's the latest Mink League start I've personally seen.
I know that was, and then to drive a little extra to Fort Scott to play that game, Yeah, we got back around. I think it was like two in the morning. I mean, you were with us, so
Yeah.
you know exactly what it was like. But yeah,
Yeah, just talk about also. So now you're getting back into things. Big opportunities come upon you. Have big moments in games. You had yourself one before a wild pitch scored 2 runs. How do you mentally prepare for those big at bats as they come along?
honestly, I love those situations. Those are like I just like trust in myself and believe in myself that I'm going to get the job done no matter what it takes. No matter if it's a 3-0 count, 2-0 count, if I'm down 0-2 in the count, like I am telling myself I am not going to get out in that situation. And then like it was kind of a we kind of had a me and Drake, our coach, had a funny like inside joke last year. It seemed like I always came up in a spot that like needed a tie game or something.
Hmm.
And no matter what like I had a 13 pitch at bat one time, ended up doubling the tie of the game last year. It was like I don't know. I lived to be in the batter's box for those moments. Like I don't know. It brings out a spark in me, just like a little flame to get the job done every time.
And then you came from a small school. You were actually talking before. Was there a big adjustment going from like a smaller school to a college and playing collegiate baseball?
Yes, not so much on the defensive side. But offensive side, obviously, coming from a small school, you're going to face a couple of guys that are throwing hard here and there, but the talent pool isn't quite as big. So the pitching that you're facing as a hitter isn't quite up to college standards all the time. And so I always tell people my welcome to college at bat was my first at bat in the Mink League when I faced a lefty that was sitting 91, 92, throwing from a 3/4 arm slot with a slider that moved about 3 feet every time he threw it. Luckily, I walked, but the first pitch he threw in there, I kind of stepped out and I was like, "All right, welcome to big boy baseball. Like we're here." But I think I've done a good job of making that adjustment so far. And then now, like going into my third year of college, I'm pretty adjusted. Now it's normal to me.
Yeah, seeing velo very high is kind of growing in baseball. I mean, now at JUCO level, you'll see a guy throwing 93 for a starter and then possibly even harder in the pen. How
For
has
sure.
that been just also with the wood bat and the metal bat? Have you seen any differences trying to get to that speed?
So honestly, I've always been a big fan of wood bats. Like I'm a big fan of like during the off season, like during that winter time, just only swinging wood. Because to me, I feel like the wood is like a real life lie detector for baseball. With a metal bat, you can kind of get away with some stuff in your swing because it's metal and you can still kind of hit it harder if you don't actually like barrel the ball. With wood, it's kind of the opposite. You end cap it, you're gonna know. If you get jammed, you're gonna know. So but I mean, you're going to know because when you hit the barrel too, because you're not going to feel anything at all. And so, like for me personally, I love hitting with the wood bat because I mean, it kind of exposes me. Like it shows me what I need to work on for the upcoming college season. But honestly, I swing the bomb bat, so it's technically a BB Core certified bat. So I don't see that much of a difference. The biggest thing I see though is the Mink League baseballs. I see a big difference in hitting those compared to the JUCO baseball.
And then also, like, when you make a mistake with a wood bat, it might actually cost you. Not many two metal bats break. We've already seen this year, I think 4 or 5 bats have already broken, and we're only 4 games in.
Exactly. It is. It might cost you a little bit of money. That's for sure.
Yeah, so now we're gonna move in the only segment I actually have on this show. It's called the rundown. The rundown, you'll have 30 seconds to answer as many questions as you can possibly answer. Ballpark food.
Hot dog.
Favorite MLB player growing up.
Ronald Acuna Jr.
Batting gloves or no?
Yes.
Elbow guard.
Yes.
Very superstitious.
Not really.
Home run or diving catch.
Home run.
Favorite baseball movie.
Major league.
Post game snack.
Ooh. Probably just like a normal sandwich.
Cleats or turfs.
Cleats.
Playing at Sedalia, you see the new turf. How does that kind of change now that it's gone from a grass outfield to an entire turf field? Do you think that will change the style of play there?
Yeah, I really do because we had the grass out in the outfield in the past couple of years, and it was almost like you put a ball in the outfield, depending on what the grass is looking like, how much rain we got, and how tall it is. So, sometimes that grass can kind of kill a ball, and you might be able to take an extra base or two. With a new turf though, it's very bouncy because it's brand new. Obviously, I think they just got it done like a month ago, and so with that new turf, that ball will take a weird bounce. I kind of noticed it playing first base this summer. There's been a couple that like it's been a long hop, but instead of staying lower on that like that old turf and skipping, it would kind of bounce up on me. So I do think it will make a difference in kind of results and outcomes of hits because and actually fair enough. I heard last night we were playing Chillicothe. I heard somebody say that was a chilly single on a ground out that somebody hit. So I do think it's going to play a little faster and a little bountier.
Yeah, I mean, uh, turf has always been growing, and I actually kind of like playing on turf a lot. I mean, it plays pretty true, and you don't have to be worried about catching a cleat or possibly a bad hop.
I agree. You get a lot of nice hops straight to the chest, which is very nice playing the infield.
You haven't always been a first baseman. I've been broadcasting you. You've always been a first baseman here, but you said you were a catcher. Just talk about that adjustment going from catcher to first base.
Yeah, so honestly, it hasn't been too hard of an adjustment for me. Behind the plate, I've always kind of had a decent glove. So honestly, like the digging stuff out of the dirt and like the picks and stuff like that hasn't been the issue. It's just kind of more of like the small stuff. So like last night against Chillicothe, we had a catcher pick somebody off. He back picked him up first. And Drake's been helping me a lot. So I have to thank him because he's helping me get comfortable over there. And it's just like those little small movement things. Like sometimes like if you're watching a game like in the stands or something, you won't notice unless you're actually playing in the game. And so like I'm still trying to learn how to just kind of slow the game down on the infield because sometimes you can let it speed up on you and you can try to do too much or try to make the play too fast. And so my goal right now is just to get more comfortable with it and try to fine tune myself like footwork and all that stuff like that.
And today being one of the few off days you have in the entire summer, there's few sprinkled in. What do you do on your off days? I know it's raining out here in Jeff City. Don't know what the weather's like out there, but what do you do for fun?
Uh, on the off days, usually like I went into the State Fair campus because so the State Fair guys, since we're still technically players there, we're allowed to hit there. And so I just went in and took some hacks off the tee this morning. I was the only person in there, so that's all I can really do. But yeah, I went and took some hacks, and then the rest of the day we just kind of hang out and chill. Uh, I know a lot of the guys have been playing video games all day. I've been actually watching the Super Regionals. I was watching the
Mhm.
Arizona North Carolina game, and so it's really just laid back. We don't in the Mink League because we play so many games. We don't necessarily have like practices on our off days, but I still like to try to go in and at least get some sort of baseball stuff done just so I don't have a complete off day.
So then do you kind of compound lifts as well during those off days, or you try to do that like say you have a game late night, you hit that in the morning?
Yeah, so like usually on the days that we do have games, I usually try to get all my stuff knocked out by noon or 1 o'clock, whether it's a light lift just to keep the body right, or going in and taking some like just morning hacks, just kind of trying to wake up and get back into it every day. Because I mean, sometimes it is hard because, like you said, with the late nights. I mean, when you have late nights, sometimes you don't want to get out of bed and go put in the work. You just want to sleep until you have to play again. But for me, if I sleep too long, I won't play good that night. So I like to get up early and go and get some work in before, and then I take kind of the time in between that and BP to kind of relax and just hang out with the guys, and then head to the field for BP around 4 o'clock.
Yeah, luckily the weather's been nice to us lately, so the BPs don't get too hot.
Yeah, no, it has been very nice.
But now rain's been a problem lately, so hopefully that stops. Thankfully, the new turf settling that. So, describe a moment in your career that you can look back on and be like, that was an awesome experience or most memorable experience of your baseball career.
So honestly, I'm gonna say like my injury was honestly a blessing in disguise. So like that's a moment where I look back on and like I said earlier, when you go from playing every day, sometimes you can take it for granted. And so then to not be able to play it, now that I'm cleared again, it showed me like how to truly enjoy being out on the field and just playing with my team. Like it's like I'm out there giving 110% no matter if I'm 0 for 3 or 3 for 3. or if I'm on defense or offense, whatever my role is that night, like it's going to be 110%. Like I'm just enjoying being there. Like it definitely like just showed me and gave me that like kind of like regrew the love for the sport again, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean you're watching baseball as well today. So I mean I really feel like there's no off days for you, especially playing, doing some work in every single day.
Exactly.
So then what advice would you give to your younger self, maybe before that injury, about like the upcoming road ahead?
Honestly, I would just tell myself like one, be yourself. I feel like when I got to college, I kind of shied away from that. Like I kind of changed who I was as a player, and I kind of slumped like as soon as I started getting into college because I was so worried about failing and like trying to not let my team down instead of just going out there and believing in myself and doing like my thing. And I feel like I've really gotten back to that lately. Like I'm gonna go up in the box, I'm gonna take my hack, I'm gonna wear my chain, like I'm gonna do whatever I want, like and just help out my team and be myself.
So you do a little work on the like your off time, I should say. You have a social media you run, you take some films. Just how has that been going and where can they find you at?
Yeah, so I do have an Instagram page. It's called Media by Caden. My little side hustle is basically just sports photography and video. I do a lot of basketball. I got hired to shoot for Overtime Elite this last winter down in Atlanta. So I went down there for a weekend and shot for them. Um, yeah, if anybody ever needs anything, like ever needs photos taken or videos taken, just DM me on Instagram. Again, it's Media by Caden, and it's going well. Business is a little low right now just because I'm so busy playing, but during the winter a lot, I get a lot of business basketball wise. I don't know what it is about basketball players, but they love the camera.
Yeah, they do. So is that kind of your favorite sport to do then? Or if you could do baseball, that would be the sport to do?
If I could do baseball, I would definitely choose baseball to do, but just because it's so hard since I'm still in college and I'm still playing, basketball is kind of like where I focus at because that's when I can actually take the time to set aside and go do it.
So then were you demon on the courts then back in the day in high school?
Uh, so I played basketball, but I mean, I was okay. I think I averaged like 10 points my senior year. Funny enough, I'm 5'10" and I was the center.
Oh,
That's
whoa.
small that's small town basketball for you. I wasn't much of a shooter, but I could score like inside the paint. I was just kind of I always had somebody that was a little bit taller than me guarding me. So I'd just pump fake and then go around them because they always thought they could block my shot. And then yeah, so it was funny in high school, like our basketball team was all just athletes that played other sports, but we played basketball because there was nothing else to do, obviously, in the winter in Missouri because it's so cold outside.
So then what are you looking forward to as the Bomber season goes on? Obviously the goal of the championship.
Yeah, so I mean, obviously, like you just said, number one goal is to win the league. Uh, I'm also just looking forward to keep playing, like just being out on the field. We have a couple new guys that haven't been with us in the past couple years, and so I'm looking forward to like keep getting to know them and just build our bond as a team. And yeah, hopefully winning that Mink League championship.
So what's your main focus as you get back into the swing of things, like working on your swing or defensive work?
So right now I'm having a little bit of a problem like flying open on my swing. So that's my main focus, like in the cages. I try not to think too much mechanic stuff in a game. I'm just trying to hit in the game. But in the cages, I'm just trying to kind of fine tune my swing back to where it was, and then as well as on the field, just getting comfortable at first base. Like I said, catcher by trade, but if if I'm going to play first, I'm going to be the best first baseman I can be for my team to get the job done.
Well, that's awesome. I thank you for taking your time for this interview.
No problem. Thank you for
Any
having me.
last words you got?
Go Bombers, baby.
All right, that's all we have today. Please like and subscribe as the Make Marathon continues all summer long. Thank you guys for listening and have a great rest of your day.